Alright, I promised you I will make a video about tips and tricks, few things you can get here and there to help you complete the challenge, including points where you can farm the different mobs. And it's been 4 years on YouTube and I can't keep a green screen properly, but alright, let's go. So I played a hunter, you can see here the beautiful quill boar mane. Nothing special, it's hunter, it's pretty easy. I'm just gonna start with my talents. So I went, of course, beast. I skipped the endurance training to put 2 points in improve revive pet. That can be useful, but you can find it maybe more enticing to get endurance. It's not necessary, I just used boar. They kind of tanky mobs. They're pretty good. I didn't feel like I needed those extra 6% of health on my pet. And of course, unleash fury, increase the damage of your pet. That's pretty good. Pathfinding is also essential because I didn't get enough money to buy my mount when I was level 40. I bought it later. So this 6% is nice to have. And then you have no choice. You want frenzy, so you have to go toward ferocity and bestial wrath and intimidation. I also put some point in bestial discipline because you want your pet to be able to use his abilities as much as possible. Once I reached that, I went to marksmanship. Efficiency, reduce the cost of your stings and mana shot, especially my serpent sting that I used a lot. Also the lethal shot for more chances of critical strike. And the mortal shots for more damages with your critical strike. Aimed shot, pretty good. And the improved hunter's mark. That's all. So for my pet I went with the obvious natural armor, growl and great stamina. And then I went for charge. Since I used boar, this is really important. It's a really nice ability. Immobilize the target for 1 second when you charge on it, so that can help you when you get into troubles to stun a mob. But also, especially what's really important, is that it adds 420 melee attack power to the boar's next attack at rank 5. I also went for bite. You want to have your focalization to be used for something on your pet, so bite is a great tool for this. You can tame other pets that have the bite ability without killing any other mobs. So you can just tame them and then kill some boars until you get the bite ability and then you can release them. That's what I did. And I did put some fire resistance. This is really important when you enter the blasted lands. Only for when I was in this zone did I put the fire resistance, because the Ashman boar and the Hell boar, they have AoE fire damages. So for your pet it's really important to have fire resistance so you can help reduce the damage that will come from those attacks. I think it was really important. I haven't tried without, but I will highly recommend it. I got different build. You can go to your pet trainer and reset your pet talents. I've done that several times to adjust. Because for example, you can see I couldn't buy the last rank of great stamina and natural armor. I had to make some concessions if I wanted to have charge and the bite. So for my professions, I went for leatherworking and skinning as my main professions. Kind of essential, I would say. Low level you can craft yourself some stuff, and you can also have access to the quivers and ammo pouches, which is nice, so you can make them yourself, you're saving some golds. And then when you higher level, you craft items that you sell. I can tell you that I have crafted a lot of those nice kept headbands. Just try to look at how much you can sell the thick leather. And try to craft something that will make the most money out of it. So for me, for example, at this level, that was the nice kept headbands. Anything that was containing rug leather, I kept it because the rug leather will make me lose money. If I was just selling the rug leather, I will make more money than if I was crafting wicked leather gauntlets and trying to sell them. I also went for cooking. You have several boar recipes that you can have. So you start with the roasted boar meat, then you get the beer, basted boar ribs, and the Gortus liver pie. You can get them through quests, but you can also buy those recipes in Stormwind. Sure, for the Gortus liver pie, that's a really great one because it gives you a buff of 4 stamina and 4 spirit for 15 minutes, and you will kill a lot of Gortusks. You will kill them in the Redridge Mountain and in Westfall. There's a lot of Gortusks, so you will have your bank filled with those pies. And it's really important because once you get past the succulent pork ribs, so when you finish killing the boar at Redridge Mountain, you won't have any source of boar meat for the rest of the game. So I stacked up my bank with the Gortus liver pie and not the succulent but the dry pork ribs, so I could get those little buff for stamina and for spirit. That's always nice to have it, or if you want to get some little bit of food, you can get some regen. It's nice low level. I also picked the first head, which was from the quill boars. You will get some wool, silk, so you can craft yourself. Even some silk you will get later in Wrath of Fiend Down, so you can craft yourself some bandages, which will be helpful to heal your pet or heal yourself. Save some mana instead of using main pet. Then regarding my stuff, I focus on the agility and intellect stats, so I went for everything that has up the Falcon. That's really great. That's my point of view, that's how I play with my hunter. I like to have a nice reserve of mana, so I usually aim for 1.5 to 2 times more mana than I have health. I will manage my mana during the fight, so not use too much my abilities, so I always have like a reserve of mana that will recharge over time, so I don't have to sit and drink. So that's pretty much how I play it and how I like to play it. So first agility, then intellect, and then I like to skip as much as possible the other stats in the game. For the weapons, early in the game you can buy a lot of weapons like bows and guns from NPCs. Let's check some of them here on the screen, but usually you kind of in the beginning save gold to buy the weapons, and with leather crafting you craft your stuff. So that's what I did low level. Alright, so what I want to do today is something I promised I will do, is I will show you the best spots to grind the mobs. I used the dwarf to immediately go into it. All things considered, with the time it took me to do this event, you can of course start with a night elf. If you prefer night elf, just come here. There is boars to start also in the night elf area. Here is the easiest way to do it. It's much easier to do it on the alliance side. You could do it on the horde side with a troll or an orc. You will have to switch much faster to quill boar though, and I wanted to make that switch as late as I could do it, okay? So I'm gonna show you on the map every spots I deem worthy of farming to get the boar, so you can check at the top you get my player coordinates. So you can see every time I will show you that's where you need to go. You can also see it at the bottom of the screen here. So of course you start when you create a dwarf in Coldridge Valley. And here is, to me, the best spots to start with. So you have boars that are small crack boars that are level 3. You can see here I'm tracking beasts, so you have a high concentration of small crack boars all next to each other. This location is ideal to start. Another nice area to farm, still in Dunmorog when you eat around level 5-6, is all this ridge that you will have all along the way here. So as you can see, there's a lot of boars on the way, so you can loop it up. You will come to look at the map to see all the boars that we see. There's a good old Yeti to avoid here on this ridge, but plenty of boars to kill, so you can come back and forth or kill 1 out of 2, and when you come back, so you can go back and forth along that ridge and kill all the boars. So that's mainly where I farmed. Also the area around Karanos is okay, but there's a lot of snow leopard and bears, which is not ideal. There, other than the Yeti, it's pretty isolated, so I think it's a good spot to farm the boars. So our next stop is on Sentinel Hill, just right out of Sentinel Hill in Westfall. Here there's plenty of boars. They're level 13, 12 to farm. Do we have some 11, I think? No, just 12 and 13. The respawn here was quite fast when I did. I don't know what's the status now. So usually I would go all the way up here. Yeah, there will be some young Gartusk. Like these nice people are farming now. You can see there's a little bit of some Flesh Reaper and some Coyote. But all in all, there was a pretty good respawn, and I farmed a lot here. So it goes all the way that I'm doing now around the Sentinel Hill, so all the way here. You can do like a U sign around this area. Just so you remember the coordinates are here, so you can have a look in real time. So we'll go all the way up to around here, do those Gortusk here, all the way around those ones here. Here you will have some Gortusk higher level, like 14, 15, that I will include later on when I will be able to kill them. And we go all the way to the Great Gortusk, but you don't need to kill those ones. There's better spots to farm these level 17, 16 mobs. So I would usually stop at those Gortusk in that field here. Remember, here, all the way here. The next area that you start around level maybe 15 you can do it. All the way to level 21 will be in the south of Lakeshire. All around the lake, this area here, all the way here to here. So that's all this area. I will show you the mobs that you have. Some of them are dead. That's a really good location. There's also location in the top when you can just jump back and forth. A couple of, I don't know, football fields. One or two, I would say, just between mobs really quickly. But I found this area to be also really good. So that's the famous area where you have Belly Grub, which was my fellow Andouillette mob. So the respawn is decent in here, so you start with those boars here. You have some boars all the way up here, as you can see on the minimap. So at this location, of course. And you have mobs level 16 to 17 here. Including our sweet Belly Grub level 24. So a lot of boars, all in this southwest part of the lake. No other mobs, just boars, so it's pretty easy and safe. And I would just go all the way up to here, where I am right now. So you have some Great Gortusk here, here, and then you just go back and forth from here all the way up here. And that should keep you busy really until level 21. And then we have to move continent. So the next spot after Red Ridge Mountain where you're gonna spend a lot of time is here. From this area here to the Crawl, to the Razorfed Down, and all the way from level 21 to level 45, 44. So that's gonna be a long time. So that's where you start to kill quill boars. So you start with those mobs around here that are level 21. And you just go back and forth all the way up there, killing all those quill boars all the way down to this area here. So you will just follow this line here. And that's all you're gonna do until you feel comfortable going into the Crawl. There is quite some sneaky one here, so you will have to be careful in the beginning. They happen to be quite a plague. You go immediately from level 21 to 23, and then you have some 24, 25. What's nice with the Crawl is that you can test if you're able to go in. So you have those level 23 elite mobs at the outside, so you can test and see how easily you kill them. If you feel they go down quite quickly, then you can consider going into the Crawl. The Crawl is a little bit difficult. For this I will need to show you how it works, because there is some kind of tricky mob, and here that's the first like step up in your game. That's gonna be the first increase in difficulty that you will have to face, to my opinion. So the problem are the Geomancer. They have a Stone Rumbler, which is an elemental, and that you cannot kill. So you need to kill the Geomancer and get out and in of the dungeon, so the Stone Rumbler will disappear. I will show you how that works. I pull the Geomancer, I run away, he's gonna cast, and the Stone Rumbler is gonna follow me. Then the Stone Rumbler gets stuck in the ice, you kill the Geomancer. And then as you can see now, the Stone Rumbler is following me. But I killed his master. So now if I get out of the dungeon and go back in, you see the Rumbler running away, but then he's gonna despawn. So that's how you have to do it for every Geomancer in the crawl. Now the Geomancer is gone. So what I used to do, I don't have a map of the dungeon. I used to go along that line all the way up at the bottom to see if I can pass without any aggro. Oh, I can't. Okay. I will go all the way to the bottom here on this part of the dungeon. Then it's blocked, but you have a lot of mob along the way. And then you can go down that path here, next to the entrance of the dungeon. And you will have a lot of boars that you can kill. The issue is that sometimes you will have some kind of blood clots that will, some like blood slimes, lemons that will go around here, and sometimes you will have very few room to evolve into that part of the dungeon. So sometimes you will be able only to kill a few boars, sometimes you will be able to kill a lot. That's a pretty nice part of the dungeon. You can also get a nice pet here if you want. And that's pretty much where I stick to for the Razorfen crawl. So what I would do is that I would spend my 15 minutes here killing all those mobs, and then I will reset the dungeon and start again. All the way up to level, I would assume 33, 34, around those levels. It's elite mobs, so they will bring a lot of experience, which is nice. Once you're done, you move on the other side of the road here, next to the Razorfen Downs. That's also an area where you're gonna spend a lot of time, and that's the second jump in difficulty. Once you can get your hand around the crawl, it will be pretty easy, pretty streamlined to farm. But here, that's another level, because you will have elite mobs that you will have to farm outside of the dungeon first. There's a lot of elite mobs here, starting 33, 34, all the way to 36 at the end, next to the entrance of the dungeon. Here there's plenty of mobs to kill, no need to worry. All this area here is filled with those quill boars that you can kill. Those ones can heal themselves, so they're a little bit tricky. You have to TPS them at the right moment to use your cooldown at the right moment if you want to be able to kill them. The battle guards, it's quite hard. So it can be a little bit frustrating. If you aggro too much, you're gonna die pretty easily, I would say. Now we're getting closer to the entrance of the dungeon. That's where you have the remaining head of Agamagan. As you can see, it was quite a big guy. Here also, it's when you get in the higher levels, so the mobs will be 35, 36, 37 even, I think. I'm not sure, no, that's inside the dungeon. So they will be like 34 to 35. I guess I think there's some 36 here. So from the mouth of the entrance all the way up here, not much to see, but all the way up here, that path you will have to farm a lot of mobs until you feel comfortable going into Razorfen Downs. But be prepared because it's gonna be quite hard. Here it starts pretty easily. You have one mob, you have one patrol, but then you will move to a pack here when you have two mobs, so you will be able to... You have to be able to manage two elite mobs 35-36. So that's where really the jump in difficulty is, because you will have to fight multiple elite mobs, all the way up to 3, if you want to be able to survive here. So Withered, the Withered Spearhide have the nice advantage to attack you from a distance, so that's gonna help a little bit when you have to face them. First I will stop around here, I think, and I will just kill the mob outside, kill those few packs here, and then go out again, kill the mob on the way, come back in, and I will do this until I feel comfortable getting this big pack of mobs here. There's non-elite mobs, but there are 4 of them plus an elite mob, so it's also quite difficult here. Then you can go a little bit further in the dungeon, but it's quite difficult quite quickly. I would first ignore this pack here, kill those mobs here, and then we have this patrol that should come at some point. Here you have the battle Boar horrors. Sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 2 that will come here, so that's the highest mobs that you will be able to kill. Level 37. At the end, I think I only leveled up killing mobs that were 36 and 37 because the 35 were not giving me experience anymore. Only so my pet can be a level good enough to be able to kill the boar that we will find in the Blasted Land, our next stop. So right after you're done with the Razorfen Downs, you can come here, the Blasted Land. So that part triggers me the most because that's where I screwed up. I should have taken a high population server. The reason why is that you have those Ashmen Boar that are 47, 48, or 48, 49. God, I don't even remember now anymore. It's all a blur to me. You will have those Ashmen Boars, so they do AoE fire damages, so that's why you need fire resistance on your pet. The problem is that they share their respawn with the redstone basilisks. So if you just keep on going and starting to farm all the Ashmen Boar here, at some point there will just be basilisks, no more Ashmen Boar. And it goes quite quickly because, as you can see here, it's just gonna be this part of the map you can go. From this mob here all the way to this one here, and that's all. Just this little area that you have to farm until you hit level 50, probably. So you have mobs level 48, 49, you have to be 45, 44, 45? I would say 45 is probably better, otherwise it's gonna be a little bit too hard. And you have to farm those ones until you can go on this part of the map, which is gonna be this part here. So around that little mountain here. Here you have hellboars, like this one here. They're 52, 53, and they all around that little mountain here. The same issue happens here. They share their respawn points with basilisks, but also with fell beasts. So if you're on a low population server and there's not very few people leveling, what's gonna happen is that you're gonna kill the hellboar. And then you won't have any more hellboar to kill because all the respawns after some time will be basilisks or fell beast. All of those here, all these mobs, they can be hellboar. But most of the time it will be like right now. Because also people come in the Blasted Land, farm the boar so they can get some buffs. There is a quest, I think, here when you can get the boar vitality, blah blah blah, so you can get some buffs here, so you need to farm the boar lungs from those mobs. You also have this level, this boss, Teremus, which is gonna be along the way often, so you have to be careful at him. So here, that's where I spend most of my time. Going around that little mountain here. Checking if I can see some hellboar. And if... Imagine you're alone and there's only one other person that farmed the hellboar, in 20 minutes you're done. There's nothing left. Then you have just to go and come back later. And that was really difficult. That was the difficult part for me. I spent days here, running around those rocks. Just turning around here and doing this, like, sea part. And that's all. That's all I did for days in the game. If you take a higher population server, you can be like, yeah, but the other people are gonna kill the mobs. Even if people kill the boars, but there's several people and some people kill everything, you will have a turnover. So you will have less chances of you coming here, killing 5 mobs, and then there's nothing left to kill. And then you have to just come back later. That's what I did. It's really frustrating. Taking a lot of time. So take a high population server. Right now, that's a really good time. Usually, there's no one here on my server. You will see, you can see in the playthrough, not much happens here, and that gets really frustrating. Once you kill the hellboar, you still come here and kill the Ashman boar because the respawn time is quite long. Get ready for this part. That's the last jump in difficulty that you will face. You will have the crawl, rather than downs, and here. The rest is pretty okay to do. If you're not comfortable, just go back to the previous spot, farm 1 or 2 more level, the mob will be green, it's no problem. And then you have to get over those 3 difficult parts of your playthrough, and everything will be fine. And to finish, of course, the Plague Land and the Plagued Swine. Perfect area. So it's all around this village here, which is called Terrordale. You just need to go around the village, pretty easy. I usually started here. You have those 3 boars you can kill. And then you just go around the town, killing every boar on the way. I show you the path exactly I was doing at the end. Here you're in the part when it's pretty easy. In the end, it's going pretty well. I will go here, pull those mobs. Here, there's one here, of course. Be careful, there's a little 60 elite mob that's coming from here. And that goes along that path, so be careful. I did aggro several times. I think I died once from him. Then here there's some. And then we go around that house. So from level 55, you can come here all the way up to 60. More mobs here. And then you just walk along that ledge and you come back to the starting point. Here you go, and that's all. And you just run in circle around the town. That's the easiest part, pretty much. It's one of the easiest farming spot, and that's also one of the most efficient. Really easy to level up the last levels here.